So I scaled my own coaching business to over 150K a month in the SMMA space, and today I'm going to be picking a random coaching business off Skool and showing exactly how I would relaunch it to 100K a month in the next 6 to 12 months, going through all the foundations that if we can implement on are guaranteed to hit it in that timeline. So let's hop on over to Skool and pick a community. So first things first, the tab that I selected for this video is going to be spirituality. Find it pretty interesting. So we got a lot of high ranked ones. There's 1835, 109 in the world. I like this one, 107 in the world. If we click through here, it's a completely free group. So we've got run here by Sunny Shorma. So I'm going to go ahead and input everything over into our sheet, and then we'll take it from there. For the first step down of finding a coach here, so I went and looked through everything that we've got online. So I have a free community, which is the self-inquiry support group. Then we've got the self-inquiry school, which we're driving the traffic to with YouTube channel over here, and then also our Instagram over here. This one goes to the free, and if I click to a YouTube video, in the description, as you can see right here, we've got a whole bunch of links to the free, but then also the paid community right down here. So this is everything we've got set up. If you click on to the deliverables on the paid community, we get 10-week course, weekly Q&As, group meditations, one-on-one private meetings, and then also a community right here, along with messaging, retreats, and previous meeting recordings. So super solid, got a 30-day money back guarantee on the actual membership, as you can see here. So pretty solid stuff what we got set up right now. What I want to do, and the first thing that I want to identify and kind of dive into, is going to be this offer right now. So if I click on to the YouTube description right here and kind of look through what I see from my perspective, we've got first, we funnel to a free community, then we've got a guide on meditation, and then we've got the paid community right here. In my opinion, it would be best to pick one of the three products to actually give away to people. So if I click into this book right here, it's kind of a lead magnet to get put on an email list. I believe that honestly, we should just double down on this Skool community. It's got a good amount of members already. And as a part of the Skool community, give this away as a free asset because we're already collecting people's emails and requests to join the Skool community. You probably got mine, as you can see here in this membership pending section. So that would be the first thing that I see in regards to the offer. Just double down on, first off, our free Skool. The next thing is going to be the transition offer. So we got a few alternatives right now. We've got 122 members in this self-inquiry school here, which means that we're bringing in roughly 12K a month, which is super solid. But I believe, honestly, given our audience size, if we niche in a little bit more, we're going to be able to extract a lot more, especially given the amount of traffic we're getting, which is pretty sick on purely organic basis. So the way to do that, first things first, is we got free Skool community 97, and we've got one of two options. The first thing that we can do is we can tack on a one-to-one offer directly after this. The second thing we can do is, as we get more and more advanced, free Skool, and then sell this directly into the one-to-one for now. I believe this is something that would happen later on in the future, but it is an option. I'm liking this one a lot right now just because we're already able to get members in this paid community. As you can see right here, we just might want to lower down the price a little bit more, and I'll explain why in just a second here. So the offer is pretty much, if we read through some of the copy here, just deepening meditations, more established self-awareness to solve self-identification and be more happy and peaceful. Fundamentally, spirituality stuff. So where I kind of have the first thing I want to touch on and would definitely improve on is in regards to a transformation. So the best offers that I've seen and that I've run always go from a point A to a point B, as you can see over here. And the offer is the vehicle of doing this. And it's almost like this is a huge mountain that someone would have to climb, and the offer in the vehicle is a way of just going straight under it, or it's straight through it, however you want to put it, but it's a way of accelerating the process instead of having to go ahead and climb up this huge mountain. So the first thing that I'd want to do is I'd want to identify a transformation that people actually get when they buy this product. So what that means is maybe they start in this stress situation. Maybe work is stressing them out. Maybe there's a whole bunch of things going wrong in their life. This is for you to identify, but we want to take that thing. And in my example, what I would do personally is I would go ahead and pick a kind of person like an entrepreneur, which I'll touch on in just a second here. And I'd say to this, all right, well, I help entrepreneurs go from this stressed out mental state not knowing what's going on with their business, not having control, to point B over here, which is focused and aligned with their purpose, which also leads into the second thing, which I want to talk about, which is I don't know who actually needs to buy. So the first thing that we've got right here is a transformation. The second thing is going to be who. So who is actually going to buy from us? So for me, what I would do is I'd transition this to entrepreneurs just because I understand them the most. I am one myself. And then the transformation that I would have is stressed to aligned. So pretty much what we're doing is we're allowing people to go onto not being aligned with their purpose, feeling like they're just running their business, being stressed out, not knowing what they're going to do for the next 10 years, to understanding what their purpose of life needs to be. And that would be the offer. And the vehicle of achieving that, if we go back to this whiteboard over here, would be the actual spirituality. So that's the first thing that I would do. And if we write that down, head right down here. So the actual transformation, the first who is going to be entrepreneurs lacking purpose, and then the how is going to be through spirituality, which is the deliverables and the offer, what we had there. It is all of these things. And then the final, which is going to be the what, it is align with purpose. And just by doing this, we have a way stronger offer because now we actually have a tagline. And then the next thing that we can add is we can add a time base. So in 12 months, and then we can also go a little bit further into define goals and all that stuff. But because it's spirituality, it's a little bit hard to define. So in order to write it down, I would go servicing entrepreneurs who are making money but lacking purpose to feeling aligned through spirituality, etc. And I wouldn't even add the time month scarcity for this, just base fundamentals. This would be the offer that I'd run. So now that we've got this, we have something that we can actually say to people. So when someone sees it, they're going to resonate with it. They're going to be like, oh, that's me. I'm an entrepreneur who's making money but lacking purpose. Here is how I can go from that point A to point B. Next thing that I want to dive into is a little bit about the actual offer structuring in the funnel. So this one-to-one is where I believe majority of the money should be made. Because we're going to be working with entrepreneurs, first things first is done a pretty good job on the pricing here. I believe $97 is pretty solid as a second tier community. What I do not like about this is the one-on-one private meetings, because I believe that if we're actually allowing someone to go from, once again, that point A to point B transformation, that is something that's going to help someone for the rest of their life and can yield them a lot more money than the $97 a month. So in order to attribute proper value to it, I would take away this one-on-one private meeting with Sunny and take this private messaging with Sunny, and I would move all of the one-on-one stuff that is directly using Sunny's time alone into this section here, which is going to be a quote-unquote consulting directly offer, like working one-on-one with them. So once we've done that, what now happens is if we go to the funnel that we have right now, which is free, into the 97, into this consulting offer right here, which I would set at a starting price point of $2,500 for 2 months, slash even going all the way up to something around $4,500 3 months. Somewhere around this price point is what I'd say is fair as someone who is an entrepreneur and has paid for products like this. In order to enhance my life, I've paid this amount before in order to get a lot less than if someone could help me find my life's purpose. This is what I'd say a fair price is. And using that, we're going to be now going from all this free YouTube content into this $97 a month and then into this final offer right here. And also to touch on as an alternative to the 97, if we want to get more members in, we can put a lower price point of something anywhere between 25 to 50, see if that can get us more members. And if it does, it'll allow us more leads to upsell into the one-on-one, which is where we now go into the economics. So right now we're doing about 12K a month, which is important to note down. So let's write that here. And I don't know the actual revenue, but just based on what we can publicly see, 12K a month. And this should be upselling into the one-on-one, which I believe if we have 122 members and made this offer to a direct kind of person that is an entrepreneur, we could easily jump to 30, 40K a month within next 2-3 months. So let me write that now. 30, even 50K a month, right? Transparently, just with the amount of traffic we have. This is more than we have at my SMA business that does over 150K a month. So I think the sky's the limit with this. However, diving into the next thing here, which is going to be the top funnel traffic. So the first thing I noticed is we have reels going out on Instagram, which is amazing, but they're not going out on YouTube. And I just see this as a simple low-hanging fruit missed opportunity that if we throw this up right here is going to be super just pivotal for slowly stacking growth. And as we continue to compound the vehicle of YouTube content and personal brand and whatnot, it's just going to only help. So that is a quick low-hanging fruit we can pick off. Next thing in regards to the content is going to be something I kind of touched on at the very start, which is going to be the description. So first things first is I would remove this donation on PayPal. Maybe this is a stream of revenue. I'm not sure how well it converts. I think that it would help way more just to direct people to mainly the free Skool community and then also the paid Skool community right here, and then just remove these two and keep your Instagram so that you can actually communicate with your audience. And I think that would allow a lot more of the traffic to be directed to a core place where we can start tracking our numbers and actually get some tangible KPIs here. So that'd be the first thing that I go ahead and do on traffic here. If I look to Instagram, again, I would put in our offer tagline. So it'd be a big part of the actual Instagram that we run. So letting people know that, hey, I help entrepreneurs who are making money but lack purpose. Pretty much state your mission here, and then solid join free community for support. That'd be the only change I make to this. And then in regards to YouTube, I mean, content is absolutely dialed. I've got nothing to say about the content itself. Looks amazing. The only thing that as we go on with time, if we're finding that the entrepreneur angle works, maybe double down to start talking about them alone. But from a YouTube perspective, this guy's doing better than me and even at my own coaching business on a purely view basis. So next thing that I want to talk about here is actually going to be pretty much the setting process that we walk through. And where that starts is going to be on the copy of our free Skool community and getting conversions. The first thing that I would really want to see is, again, selling the transformation of point A to point B instead of kind of just listing out the deliverables, and then also telling a story. So if we take a look at my copy here, for example, I simply just tell a story about where I was, the situation I was, and the transformation I kind of go through. And at the end, as he's done really well, just state the deliverables of what I give. So what the change would look like here is I would tell the story about, hey, I'm an entrepreneur myself, I run this company, and what I pretty much do is I go from point A, which is what you might be feeling right now, which is feeling like you're wasting your time every day, feeling like you're working on something that is useless, to point B, which is feeling aligned with your purpose and knowing what you want to do for the rest of your life. I would tell that in a copy format, and then at the end I would just hit them with all this value right here, and I think the conversion would help way more, because what it now shows is a way for people to read this and go, oh, that's me. And it's going to help a whole bunch when it comes to getting people in the front door. Next thing, over here to the paid, pretty well, same thing. What I like here is it shows a very transparent version of what they're going to get. And if they have a pretty good conversion on this, honestly, this could be completely left alone just because it's not the first thing they see. They already know, like, and trust you by the time that they see that because they're in here. So the only thing is that if we are going to have this in the description of what we direct traffic to, I would want to change it just a little bit to having a little bit more of that story format we'd follow on this first page right here. So that would be the actual conversion. Now it's time to go into the setting process. So as I'm recording this video, I did not get accepted yet. So I'm just going to go based on how I would approach it from a completely organic and not knowing what they currently have set up perspective. So the first thing in the setting process that I would really want to see double down on is just first things first is that email. So when I joined the Skool community, it asked for my email, which kind of doubles down into the fact that we need to remove this little book right here because this is only an email lead magnet. And if we're already getting that from the Skool community, they have a whole bunch of automations where you can just add someone directly to the list. So I check my email right here and let's see. Yeah, so I don't have anything in my email right now. So that is not going to actually send me anything. So the first thing that I'd say is let's get people that join in the Skool let's get them emailed. So join Skool email. When they join Skool, the next phase that I want them to go into is the auto DM. So in the auto DM, because you don't really have too much of a purely educated marketing, you might be working with people who've never been on Skool before, you can get away with not saying that the auto DM is automatic. Simply what I would do is I'd ask them more about what kind of business they run on some of the qualification questions right here. So I'd qualify them, what business they run, why do they not feel out of line, etc. Just once again, doubling down on the transformation that we're walking someone through. And then auto DM into the sales process, where I would pretty much run the weekly calls, etc., and then maybe once a week make a call to action with a whole bunch of results just posted directly into not only the free Skool community but also the paid Skool community, that hey, I have this paid Skool community in the free one, and then in this paid one of the 122 members, constantly sharing that you work with people one-on-one so that they want to go ahead and upsell. And I believe simply by really dialing in the transformation aspect of our offer and then adding that additional one-on-one after removing ourselves from the $97 a month one, we could easily get to that revenue milestone that we had desired set out right here. And setting process and sales process don't need to change. Pretty simple. The only difference is that we would need to take calls with existing customers, which we're pretty well already doing in the deliverables. The only thing that would change is that now we're also letting them know, like, hey, I also do this consistently with people one-on-one. So when they join, if we write this down here, go into the service delivery, free community, we got all of our deliverables, so calls, and then we have a post in group with results once weekly with paid upsell. And then when someone buys into the paid community, what I want to get them with is I want to get them with a one-on-one onboarding. We let them know that you work with people more one-on-one, all this stuff, and then have a pinned post that shares you work with people one-on-one, and you also talk about this in the onboarding call only if they want to go through that whole process. So the big changes that we've identified so far are going to be to change our offer. So we want to change and add a who, we want to add a what, we want to add a how, and then potentially, I don't know what your system works like, but if we have a time, I'd want to add that as well. Next thing is going to be, I want to go ahead and I want to lean out the description of YouTube, direct people to one place. On that note of socials, I also want to share transformation offer in IG bio, which also goes to here of the transformation that we ultimately sell. The next change that I'd want to see is going ahead and changing copy on free Skool to attach with our offer. Then I want to add pinned post in paid community to share that we work with people one-on-one. And what that entails is removing one-on-one calls whenever from 97, then taking that right here and then moving it to a one-on-one onboarding, and then finally upselling anywhere between $2,500 to $4,500, which is the amount I paid just for reference, for a one-on-one working together package. And I paid this in a health/spirituality thing as well. So I know there's a legit offer if we have our who as entrepreneurs right here, or anyone that works in the space of business, completely reasonable. So these would be the big changes that I make. And I think that if we can make all these changes with the existing traffic that we have, we're gonna be able to squeeze so much more out of it. And even right now, just as a small low-hanging fruit tidbit, I think if you were to slowly pull out the one-on-one private meetings from this $97 community and just let everyone know and say they're going to work with people one-on-one to achieve a specific transformation, you'd be able to immediately probably about double the revenue that you're doing right now, at least just off of this Skool alone. So that would be exactly how you optimize your business. If you see this, pleasure. And if you're watching and you're not Sunny, well, appreciate it as well.